See, Tamil na Tamil dane. So that you can never forget. Just because we speak in other languages doesn't mean we forget what our mother tongue is. So mother tongue is mother tongue. Tai dane. So, but uh, first up, Shefali and to everybody at the Verandah Club, Kanaka Sabapati ji, and to everybody, thank you very much for having me. Coimbatore is very special for me for various reasons, along with the Thosai at Annapurna. But frequent visits have happened. I hail from Palakkad, so I'm a Palakkad. My mom's from Thrissur, my father's from Namara. So Palakkad I've kept coming. So whenever I've visited Palakkad, it's been from Coimbatore. Our Kuladevam is Kodumbu Subramanian, so he's also not so far away. So there is deep connect. But I've not lived a lot in Tamil Nadu, nor have I lived much in Kerala. But I've always been connected. I've kept coming back here. My father was a bank officer. He retired to VRS some time back. But I lived a lot in the north of our country. So I was in Delhi, I was in Udaipur, I was in Jamshedpur, then Mumbai. So I speak a lot of languages, understand a lot of languages. So I speak Marathi, I speak Gujarati, I understand Bengali because I studied in Jamshedpur. I understand Bhojpuri. I speak Hindi because I do shows in Hindi, and of course I speak English. So call me a polyglot or an Indian in the true sense, a Bharatiya in the true sense, you know. But through the course, and I'll be very honest, my ideological thinking, political thinking was not very refined till say 2005, 2006 when I started coming around to try and understand what's happening around us and all of that. Because we are too busy living our own life, making our own bread and, you know, careers. Because padira, you know, study, you make something of yourselves. And at that time, what was fed to you was limited information. But then when you start seeing things around you, sometimes when you're educated or when you're really aware and you see cultures across the country, there is something which binds us all together, and there are things which you thought is not right. This should not happen. So we go to temples in Kerala and they're beautiful, fantastic, clean. Everybody is disciplined. Even if it is crowded, there is order. It's not dirty. You come to Tamil Nadu and you don't know what's happening to the temples here. And you would ask this question. It's just a few hundred kilometers that separates these two states, and why is it like this? You know, the same thing, you go somewhere in the north, some of the temples are beautifully maintained, other temples are not. I said, how bhakti doesn't change? Bhakta are the same, right? Deity is the same, right? Different deities, but the whole concept is the same, that you're going to a center for worship and you're going there for spiritually cleaning yourself. And all these places needed to be clean. So if one state, one temple, one grouping keeps it clean, why don't the others? So these were questions that would come to your mind. And you would see, we'd walk into a handloom. I remember once in Baswada, we'd gone to play a district tournament. And late in the night, we reached there because our bus broke down. I was a school kid. And I'm sharing this because this is what Bharat is. And comes from parampara, from tradition. We ended up at the railway station, 40 of us, young boys and girls, boys school St. Paul, so we'd gone for a district tournament, 40 of us, famished. We walked 20 kilometers because bus broke down, highways jam, everything. And we went to this only place that was open was the railway canteen at the station there in Baswada. So that guy said, I only have a sack of potatoes and I've got flour, so I can make you puri and aloo sabji. Imagine this was when I was in my 9th standard. Okay, I'm quite old now. So, but I still remember it. Because till date, that taste of that puri and that aloo sabji is still there on my palate. Because adu pasila saaptu, adu oru nanba panirkran. He made it like that. He had shut down. 10 mani night we went to the railway canteen. At that time, who opens anything at 10 o'clock in the night? It's in the 90s. So, late 80s actually. So, nobody opens, it's all shut it down, right? But he said, kids, I'll keep it open. And we all ate. We all ate only puri and aloo sabzi. It's some watery aloo sabzi, but that taste still lingers. In the end, he came out and said, now I can't make anything more. And we said, why? He said, because I don't have anything more. The potatoes are over, the atta is over, I can't make anything more. And we were eating from 11 p.m. in the night till 1 a.m. because we were so famished, all of us. But then somebody asked, I said, how much money do I need to pay you? Or what do we need to give you? So he said, just pay me the cost of procurement. I don't want any more money. So I still remember our sir asking, ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं आप? पैसा क्यों नहीं ले रहे हैं? Why aren't you taking money? So he said, नहीं, ये बच्चे हैं, ये भगवान है. आपको भूख लगी थी, मैं खाना खिला रहा हूँ. See, that's our parampara. That's who we are, right? I meet a lot of people across the world and say, what's unique about your country? So I said, you knock into any door, anywhere across our country, and you just say, can I please get a glass of water? They will never shut the door on your face, nor will they take out a gun and shoot at you first. They'll first give you a glass of water. They may not allow you inside, but they will never refuse a glass of water to you. That's who we are. How do we know this is what we are supposed to do? Nobody's taught us Atiti Devo Bhava. Nobody's taught us never return someone. Somewhere this value system has been passed on to us, right? So, how are we forgetting it today? Why are we forgetting it today? Who is telling us, don't open your door because somebody will come there and kill you? We are one policeman to 850 people on an average. One policeman to 850 people. Are we violent? Are we getting into schools and shooting people down? Are we breaking traffic rules left, right and center? Even when somebody's cutting lanes, he'll go from the side. That bike guy will keep switch on his light and keep going. And you will make way for the bike guy. You won't go and stop him, right? That's who we are. We accommodate. And we still manage, adjust. Because we know that guy must be in a hurry. It's all right. We don't break the law. We are law-abiding people. How are we law-abiding people? Because thousands of years ago, we had a Ram who decided and said the rule of law must prevail. Correct? From there on, the system, from the Ikshvaku race, it's come down thousands of years. The fact is, rule has to prevail. Rule of law has to prevail. Then a few thousand years later, we had a Krishna who said, not just the rule of law, the spirit of law also has to prevail. So we may have a tussle between the rule of law and the spirit of law, but we always want to uphold a sense of justice. So a sense of justice that upholds society is what? Dharma. It's not religion. Dharma is what? That which dharayate iti dharma. So that which sustains, that which upholds is dharma. So we are all by default dharmic people. In our DNA, dharma is in our DNA. So our DNA is dharma, is D. And now today we are being told, this is why have we forgotten these concepts? How is suddenly dharma becoming about religion? Dharma is about sustenance, right? Dharma about what upholds society. Rule of law upholds society. Spirit of law upholds society. Functioning as a cohesive unit upholds society. Every person has to do what to the best of your ability and action. So, what is that? That's karma. Ability and action. Krishna talks about it in the Bhagavad Gita. We do it on our every day. How are you judged in your classes? Based on your ability and your action. How are you recognized? Based on your ability and your action. So what's your Varna today? I'm a doctor. What's your Varna today? I'm an engineer. What was your Varna earlier? I'm a Kshatriya. What is your Varna earlier? I'm a Brahmana. Why? I'm pursuing knowledge. Okay. Why is it that in our textbooks we are not told, when did caste come into our system? It came in the 19th century, after Warren Hastings, after Macaulay, after the British tried to do an analysis and tried to put all of us, categorize us. So they could categorize everybody else, but they didn't know how to categorize those who live in Jambudvipa, the original natives. So How do we do that? Sorry, my phone's buzzing. I'm going to shut it down. Casta is a Portuguese word. Why is it taking us 2024 to realize that casta is actually a Portuguese word which has been supplanted on us, and we were all branded Hindus? All those who live on the other side of the Indus Valley are Hindus, because that's the Sindhu river. This was Sindhu Bhumi, so we were called Sindhu. So I don't like this concept of Hindutva. Okay, call yourself Sindhutva. I don't like this Hindu branding. Don't call me Hindu. Okay, I'll call you Sindhu, because you are living in the land on the other side of the Indus River. So Hyun Sang calls us Intu, that's okay. We call ourselves Hindu, that's not okay. The British call us Hindu, that's not okay. Today we identify ourselves as Hindustan, and there's a problem with that. So these are things which I realized over a period of time. And then I said, how do we correct this? How do we change this? Now it all starts from education. What you're taught in school, what you're taught at home is what you learn. So we all teach our kids great values. We teach them respect elders. Okay? But we don't tell them why you need to respect elders. We tell them, no, pray, fold your hands. Why? We stopped explaining why. So this Anubhuti, Anushtan, and then Drishti, this whole aspect of experience, questioning, learning, understanding, that stopped over 2-3 generations. Dads would tell you, I'm telling you to do it, so do it. Don't ask me why. Why? Unless they ask us why, we will not be able to explain to them why. And unless we explain to them why, they will not know why. Why did the parents say, don't ask me why? Because they themselves did not know. Correct? But I am asking you, why didn't they say, let me find out? How many of us as parents today are saying, when our child asks us something, don't ask me all these questions? Is that your reaction? Or your reaction is, I also don't know, let's find out together. Can we get to that phase again? Because when we start finding out together, we learn. And we relearn. See, there were these colonialists who made us unlearn over 300 years. Unlearn a lot of things that is beautiful about our educational system, about our knowledge systems. We've got to relearn that. Only yesterday, I met a lady and I spoke with her, and she showed us a presentation. She said how scientific Sanskritam is, or Sanskrit as a language is. You know, all the syllables of Sanskrit in the language, when you make they actually activate different portions of our mouth, different parts of our mouth, of our tongue. You know what that does? It charges your brain cells. It activates all of your brain. That's how scientific Sanskrit as a language is. How many of us have allowed our children to take Sanskrit as an elective and said, no, you must learn Sanskrit. Here we are fighting, Tamil is older, Sanskrit is older. Sanskrit imposition, Hindi. Nobody is imposing anything. Please teach them Tamil. Please teach them Sanskrit. Do you know that there are words, the word comb, kangi. What were combs made out of? Horns. What are horns called in this part of our country? Kombu. How is it's there in European languages also? You know, these are things. So, Tamil was not different, Sanskrit was not different. Perhaps there were different clusters of people and they spoke different languages. This is all history. And there is science in that history also. If I break all of us into 50 groups, each living devoid of the other, not connected with the other, but living off with basic land and all of that, what will you do? You will find a way to communicate with each other, right? You will devise a group of language, you will decide a language, you will decide a language, you will decide. Now, if I say all of you have come and put all of you into the same room, and you got to work together and do agriculture, and pull out of the land, not live off the land, exact out of the land. In the Puranas, it says Prithvi was the one who learned how to pull out of the land. And that's why he was called Prithvi. That's the Purana story. The story is what? human civilization discovered agriculture, so they had to start living together, not as nomads and drifting apart. They started living together collectively as society. When you live collectively as society, what will happen? We all need to speak with each other, right? What will you do? Your language, your language, your language, all different groups will come together and will form what? One language. Now, between the north and the south, there are the Vindhyas. So there was a huge cluster that grew south of the Vindhyas. There was a huge cluster that grew along the Gangetic plain. So we are all one. Do you know Australia has more than 100 languages? Australia, 100 languages? But that's supposed to be a land of cops and convicts, right? No, dude. You know, that's how revisionism has happened of our history. There's so much, and there is connection. Those languages are connected to us. So in the past, more than 2000 years ago, there are people who have had exchanges between Bharat and Australia. There are language similarities. Now, do you need a Western historian or somebody else to tell you how old our parampara, our riti, our life is? Or do you already know? The Bhagavad Gita officially is dated to 5,500 years ago. Correct? So we are already 5,500 years old. Correct? Now if historians come and say Indus Valley civilization is 1200 BC, what will you say? POYA or PODA. Correct? No? Poda day. That's what you would say, right? That's what they're trying to revise it. The Rakhigadi and Indus Valley scripts, civilizations very clearly say human civilization was advanced to a level that they had the most geometric architectural designs which modern day scientists and architects are not even able to think about. And that dates to at least 10,000 years ago now with Rakhigadi. So who are these people who are trying to tell us that our history was bumcum and we didn't know, we were uncivilized people? No, dude, no. Western authors and Germans and the others, when they came and took away our manuscripts and which they are holding in libraries in Germany which non-Germans cannot access, they didn't understand what is Anustup Chanda. 32 syllables and 48 syllables. They don't understand this. They didn't understand the meter in which our biggest itihasa or kritis in Ramayana and Mahabharata have been written. And we are asking them to teach us. And we are following them. You see how much we've been corrupted. Why? Because our own entire belief system is gone. We don't have confidence in ourselves. We are not willing to assert and understand who we are. You know what we need, this generation, what it needs to become? It needs to become the Jambavan to the Hanuman. We need to, depending upon our age, irrespective of what age group we are, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we need to play the role of Jambavan in society for us to wake ourselves up and say, hey, we are good. We've got so much more. Tamil Nadu, Brigadishwara temple, that one temple can teach you everything in STEAM. That is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, art. You want to learn STEAM? You want to teach? Come, I'll take you to Brigadishwara temple. That's what we need to tell the West. Come here. See the Sun Temple, Konark, see the wheel. That's the wheel of time. And then you see the 8 chakras and the 8. Everything is written there. It's all there. We don't go ourselves. How many of us have gone to the Brigadishwara temple? You've gone there to pray. Have you looked at the architectural marvel? Have you looked at the symmetry? Have you noted the symmetry? I went to Puri Jagannath the other day. Puri, again, symmetry. Absolute symmetry. 1500 years ago, it was built. How did they get it? That's the question on engineering. So that means we had people who think, right? That means we had people who understood science, people who understood astronomy. Because Padmanabha Swami temple, summer solstice, day of the summer solstice, what shines right at into the sanctum sacrum on the Vigraha? Sun. How did they get it there, dude? They couldn't fix it for Ram temples now. They're using mirrors. They couldn't do it for Abu Simbel. In Egypt, Mesopotamian civilization, Abu Simbel, the temple, was shifted up by 650 meters because of the dam and water. So the temple, when it went up, you know how much time they do? They do 12 years. 12 years to figure out if they can get the sun to fall on the shrine inside the Abu Simbel temple. They couldn't do it. They couldn't get it to the exact date. It falls 3 days later. So we have to understand that we've got a wealth that we need to go back and learn. There are manuscripts over manuscripts which we have not yet read. And every day I am reading and I am learning. There are so many people here who are far more well-read than I am. So, and this knowledge is huge. And to say that 2,000 people, 10,000 people from the steppes came here and changed an entire population of more than 10 million people of the Indus Valley civilization, and they all forgot their language, we forgot how we lead lives, and we listened to them. Those nomads who came coming from the pastorals, who crossed the Kazakh desert and also crossed the Hindu Kush, and then came across here, and then taught us. So that's how the Aryan invasion theory happens. Bum come, and we are learning. Perhaps, yeah, we are inferior. Perhaps the Aryans taught us everything. Dude, look around you here. The Rig Veda says Kashi is the oldest temple. Kashi is the oldest city. Correct? If Kashi is the oldest city, how did those people come and tell us what is civilization? And you're trying to tell me that. So I'm just saying, look up a guy. He's doing some phenomenal work. He's transcribing Induscript.net. I'm going to plug him because I had a conversation with him. It opened my eyes. And what phenomenal work. He's from Karnataka. He's living in the US. He's translated the Induscript, deciphered. And he says, Indus language. The language is Sanskrit. The script is Brahmi. See, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. We were not taught all of this. What we need to do as society is tell the government of the day, tell the people of the day, bring me my education, give me my knowledge systems. 120 years ago, under the British colonial rule and in Karnataka, a teacher in a small village was teaching his kids Vedic mathematics and Sanskrit sitting under a tree. Now, neither is the teacher there, nor is the tree there, nor is Sanskrit there, nor is Vedic maths there. And we have not corrected that in the last 75 years in independence. Forget 75 years, we have not corrected that in the last 10 years. I have a problem with this. Yes, you have got NEP 2020, but where is the orientation? Schools want to teach biographies and Rand. Why are you teaching biography and Rand? And Hitler? There are nobody to talk about whose biographies you can talk about in India, in Bharat. We have a problem calling ourselves Bharat. Bharat, Hindi mein bolo yaar. Why? Why not say it in English? What's the issue? No, English you say India. Why? Because the Britishers called us. The West calls us India, so we should call ourselves. Come on. So tomorrow I'll not call them America, so they will agree. No, they'll call me America, no. The Brits, I'll call them, you have to call them Britain. You have to call her Majesty. Why? Who are you to tell me what I should call them? I'll call them colonialists. I'll call them occupiers. No, they decide and we say, okay, you want it that way, we'll do. Why? Let's accommodate for each other. When I say, let's accommodate for ourselves within Bharat. Let's be more accommodative. Let's not accommodate other Sanskritis imposing themselves on us. Our Sanskriti connects. Let's all try and learn one more language. It's beautiful Marathi. It's beautiful Bengali. There's so much depth. Maithili, do you know Maithili is the sweetest language? There is no abuse. There's no bad word in Maithili. You don't have the word tu shabd in Maithili. You have to slip into Bhojpuri to abuse somebody. Seriously, I'm not joking. You have to call a 2-year-old also aap. That's the beauty. Where does Mithila and Maithili come from? The land of Sita. Imagine at that time the king was called Janaka. Why? He was chosen by the people to lead. So we had democracy here already, dude. You are not going to tell us what democracy is. We already knew. We had those systems here. Have you heard of the Ashtavakra Gita? Yeah. So the Ashtavakra Gita is a conversation between Ashtavakra and who Janaka? The king called Indradyumna. He's not the same Janaka who was the father of Sita. But correct, ma'am. How many of us know this, ma'am? So that means there was a series in that region where king after king, generation after generation was always called Janak, right? From Ramayana to Mahabharata, 2500 years separate, at least, minimum, give or take. You can fight me on that also, but at least one yuga separates it. I'm just saying, the more I read about our country, its literature, its depth, I just feel, where are we wasting time going for holidays and looking at historical sites across the world? Do travel in your own country, man. We don't travel in our own country. We don't see the marvels of our own country. How is it that one particular Shivalinga is so beautifully put together, it does not have a single blemish, and 2000 years later it remains the same? The Vishnu Stamba, the iron pillar in Delhi, it doesn't corrode. How did they know metallurgy to a level that they have devised a metal that doesn't corrode? Brihadishwara temple dome, there is copper at the top. How did they get it there? How did they mold it in such a way that it looks like a kalasha at the top? We have to ask these questions so that we can tell our children, look, this is who we are. Look, this is who we are. Every facade of every old temple in our country, you go to any old temple, do you see a geometric distortion? Chidambaram temple. Is there a single degree of geometric distortion on any of the sides? How did we get that right? You know, these are simple questions that we need to ask ourselves to see how much we have within our own country, which are we passing on? Are we proudly passing on to the next generation? We can have political differences, we can have lots of opinion differences, etc. And I know there are much more erudite people who have studied a lot about this. I'm just coming from a common person who has no political godfather, no ideological godfather, nobody with any roots. I just read, learnt, spoke to people, interacted, and it's my daily, and the customs are the same. I go into a house outside in Tamil Nadu, in Coimbatore, or in a rural part in Tamil Nadu, or I go to Kerala, or I go to in Maharashtra, anywhere I go, in Rajasthan, anywhere I go, all I need to say is, Namaste, thoda pani milega. Can I get some water? That's all. Everybody serves you water. That's what binds us. That's who we are. And we are fighting our own differences right now because we've been taught to think not like a country. You know, the simple thread of this whole thing is that we need to start thinking as a country. We are all thinking in regional basis. Our own identities. We are stuck in our caste, we are stuck in our language, we are stuck in our regional areas, and we tend to start becoming cliques based on those regional biases. Telugu group will sit together, Tamil group will sit together, Marwadi group will huddle there, Jains will huddle there, all of them, everybody. Why can't we then think of ourselves as one country? And with different languages. Imagine if a Maharashtrian can speak Tamil and a Tamilan can speak Marathi. There is respect, right? It's a two-way street. I believe it should be a two-way street, very clearly. If you live in Tamil Nadu, learn Tamil. If you live in Karnataka, learn Kannada. If you live in Delhi, learn Hindi. If you live in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, learn Marathi. Because you then show that you want to assimilate yourself in that culture with those people, and obviously you speak one line in Marathi, wo 4 line Hindi mein bolega bhai. They'll go that level extent. Oh, Hindi karan, Tamil pesra now. Come, let's help him. See, simple thing, right? Why can't we do this? And there's no politics in all of this. There's no those who want to play their politics, they can play their politics. I don't want to get into that domain also. As media, this is our challenge. And I believe when I talk media, not just news, but on a broad range of issues. I very strongly believe that Bharatiya media should talk about Bharat. When we present a face to the world, it should be a united face. It should not be a divided face. See, it's the thumb rule in our house, no? Outside, it's all united. what happens inside our door is inside our door. I don't want the neighbors to think we are fighting a lot and they can come and sow more seeds of divide. No, sorry. At that time we come together, hey, you mind your business. Correct. That's what. Now, we are going through a situation right now, and this is the first time I'm so proud that our media is standing united in taking a position against Canada and US. And it's a simple question. Who are you to lecture me, boss? 14 years you have not given me David Coleman Headley. And you're saying Vikas Yadav is a person of interest, he is innocent until proven guilty. You're holding Headley charged with plotting 26/11. And you're not giving him to us. Oh, we don't know what will happen to him. How do you care what is going to happen to him in jail? He's a mass murderer. He'll be sentenced to death, he'll be hung. How he's treated in jail, his human rights. Oh, have you seen the jails in the US? What happens to them? Nobody comes out walking straight. So, who are these people to lecture us? 26 letter rogatory is given, not one extradition since 2007. No justice to the Kanish bombers. No justice. They're all walking around there. And he's a person who's got a red corner notice against the Prime Minister of a nation is hailing him as a martyr in their country's parliament. Nobody can shame a nation more than that. That's what we need to tell them. And we need to tell them, boss, don't take panga with me. I'm 1.4 billion people. A small nation like Israel is standing there and telling everybody, don't take panga. And we are saying we should be like Israel. Hello, we are 1.4 billion people, 20% of the world's population. Nobody should dare take panga with us. We should have the right to go and guso and maro anybody who tries to take panga with us. We are not even doing that. They are saying, oh, you tried to kill Pannu, you tried to kill Nijjar. They are small fry compared. हमको मारना हो तो पहले दाऊद को मारेंगे ना. If you want to kill, we'll first kill Dawood, we'll kill Hafiz Saeed, we'll kill Masood Azhar. Within the neighborhood only, we've got to do pest control. We are going to go 10,000 miles away and do pest control there for what? To machars. So then we should have that consciousness within us, that confidence within us to say, don't mess with me, dude. No, I'm going to show you the mirror. I'm going to tell you facts. You want to talk facts? You want to talk rules-based order? Here's rules-based order. Where are the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? What happened in Vietnam? What did you find there? Why did you get in there? What happened in Bangladesh? Did you not engineer a regime change? What happened in Ukraine? Did you not engineer a regime change and got a stand-up comedian as a respectful president of the country today? Did you not do it? And you are talking rules-based order. So a president of one nation can stand there and say, wherever you are, whoever you are, if you are an enemy of this country, we'll find you and kill you. When Ayman al-Zawahiri was killed or Osama bin Laden was killed. But other countries dare not do the same thing. Hello, that's hypocrisy. Let's call it. Saddam Hussein? No. Gaddafi, what happened with Libya? What did they find in Libya? And bin Laden was trained by the CIA. So who's been punished for that? So those who are killing Uyghurs are sitting as the chair of UNHRC. So ladies and gentlemen, these are things we need to be aware of. And I think unless we are a confident nation and who present a united front, and I think that's what media needs to do. And I hope we are walking on that path. We may have differences of opinion. There may be those who think that I am a blotch on media. I may think that there are others who should never be. There are senior people who now are parliamentarians, etc. There are others who have been parliamentarians, etc. There are those who said we are independent media, but today bat for only one side of the political equation. So there are will always be there. But collectively we are one, right? We are one. And we should, when it comes to Bharat, we should present a unite. We should not question what happened in Galwan. We should not be somebody platforming those who try and say, oh, US is saying this about us, Canada is saying this about us. Okay, you come and shout because I will get TRP on my show. I don't want those people. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to tell my people, this is the reality, this is the thing, this is our country. Somebody tries to break our country, what will you do? What will you do? Somebody tries to break your home, what will you do? Somebody sits in your balcony and says, allow me to squat here. After some time, I'll come in your living room. You'll say, Wapa, tea sap raha, coffee sap raha. Are you going to say that? Or are you going to take the first thing in your hand and right? That's what you're going to do, right? So if that's the rule for your house, why shouldn't it be the rule for my country, for our country? Agree, disagree? So I think that's where we need to move the discourse. But there is a problem, gentlemen, there, and to ladies also. We are not pushing this through our education system. We are not picking and choosing. We are looking at the brand. Everybody wants to put our children in our schools which shows IB. Why IB? Oh, US. He can go abroad and study. Every other person today wants to send their children out of the country. If you are going to send your children out of the country, who's going to remain? Who's going to remain? And are those who are going to remain going to do justice to our country? Then you don't have the right to point fingers at others, because you've done the same thing. You've said there's nothing in my country. I don't want to make it any better. I don't want to put any effort. I got money. Let me buy a ticket. Send my child out. You live there only. Don't come back. What are they doing there? They're sitting there and saying, what's happening in my country? What's the point then? What's the point then? How many of us are saying, what's your academic curriculum? What are you teaching my child? Who invented zero? Are you explaining what is the concept behind 108? Why is 108 special among our culture, in our culture? Why do we have Ekadashi? What is Ekadashi? How is our calendar unique compared to the solar and lunar calendar? Because we are the only luni-solar calendar. Which school is teaching our children how to read the Panchang? What is the Hindu Samvat? Why is it different? Why is the Samvat different from the Gregorian calendar? And why is the Samvat more accurate? Are we asking schools to teach this? Are we going as part of the parental groups to say, today I want to teach this. I will take extra time, go there and teach the kids of my child's class to do this. Are we making that effort? If we are not making that effort, then we got no right to crib. All of us have a duty to our country. All of us have a duty to our culture. All of us have a duty to our own existence and the next generation. What are they going to learn? And one more thing, you can't not read and tell your child to read. They won't read. Padida, nee mattum padiliyappa. They'll turn around and ask you this question. Where are you studying? Where are you reading? Hey, don't watch so much of TV. Don't keep sitting on the... Hello, you're saying don't sit on the phone while you're yourself on the phone. How can you do that? You can't do that, right? So these are things I think which we as a country need to, and as a people need to bring into our own thing. Our children follow our actions. We may not have done a lot of things, but at least equip our children with knowledge. Can your child, forget can your child, if I single out 4 people here, can you tell me 5 things that make you proud about your country? Without stammering, without thinking twice. If you have to introduce Bharat to somebody who does not know anything about Bharat, what will you say? Anybody wants to have a go? What will you say to someone who does not know anything about Bharat? I would say all the things that you say. No, but in 5 bullet points. I'm just saying, in our head, we don't have 5 bullet points. Huh? Sir, I am the oldest living civilization in the world. I represent 20% of the world's population. Sir, let's start from there, no? The name of my country means a nation that is pursuing in the pursuit of knowledge. And that's why the most ancient knowledge systems, the most compact knowledge systems or comprehensive knowledge systems will be found here in my country. And even before the world knew what astronomy was, we knew what astronomy was. Even before the world knew what the universe is and that it's elliptical, we had the word called Brahmanda. Brahma? Yeah. And we have manuscripts that date back to 10,000 years ago. And then you can say, no matter which house you knock, which door you knock in my country, and you ask for a glass of water, they will never say no. Now, when you introduce your country like that, don't you feel good? Correct. So that's why, and Point is, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just trying to say who I am. I'm not trying to say you are wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong. You know, I'm not. We don't need to. We don't. Every other country markets themselves. We are 1.4 billion people. If 1.4 billion people, of which at least 60 crore to 70 crore are on social media platforms. Every week, if you put one picture about that makes our country special, something about our country, not about us. See, I'm with this person. See how I look. No, that's all self-obsession. I'm saying, see, this is my country. And hashtag Bharat, hashtag India, hashtag Incredible India, hashtag come to Bharat. 80 crore posts every week. Are you saying Bharat will not go viral? We will forever be viral. Correct? We'll forever be viral. Our movies pick up some phenomenal scripts. We got some great talent, creative talent, brilliant talent. And when I say media as a whole ambit, right? It's a whole ambit. You show whatever happens. We tend to try and show things in a negative manner. If we start our scripts very consciously start pitching Bharat as a nation that everybody should aspire to engage with, visit, live in, what's going to be the story the whole world wide? The Telugu film industry churns out 700 films. The entire Indian film, Bharatiya film industry churns out more than 1,500 films across in the country, across the annually. 1,500 scripts where there is a pitch that says that it's worth being in Bharat. Imagine the narrative change that we'll make. Soft power. How many of us are telling our child, it's okay if you don't come first in class, but I want you to learn Kalari. I want you to learn Bharatanatyam. I want you to learn Karate. I want you to learn some discipline which is physical, which is extracurricular. I want you to play a team sport. I want you to get hurt. I want you to learn how it is. And that too, not in an air-conditioned closed court. I want you to play in the ground. I want you to get muddy. I want you to come back soiled and dirty. No, say you remember Surf Excel. The concept is, sir, get your clothes dirty. The concept is take that football, take that bat and ball and go out and play with your child. Even if your child is 30 years old, please go ahead and do it. Because that means there is healing that's happening within the father-daughter or father-son equation. But we are not doing it. How many of us are sitting and playing chess with our children? Again, chess. Do you know in our scriptures, there are verses which are written which actually show the geometric progression of what? The knight, the horse on the chessboard. Correct? Correct. This is how deep our knowledge systems are. We need to learn these in schools. We need to teach these to our children. If the schools are not teaching them, we need to teach them. I am saying just start with the Bhagavad Gita. That is the concise précis of the entire depth and wealth of knowledge that we have. In every chapter, every verse, there is something which is science, there is something this is spiritual, there is something this is physics, there is something this is philosophy and conceptual, and there is something that is going to mold our children of the future. Why? Because this is a lesson given in a battlefield. It's not a religious discourse. It's not a discourse given to somebody who's saying, I am Bhakta, he's saying, I am lost in life, show me direction. So what better can be that somebody surrounded by all the problems in the world and is all sunk down, stands up to believe. That's the beauty of that text. If we can start from there, we do something towards dharete iti dharma. Our own individual dharma, swadharma, towards rajadharma or deshadharma. Well, I'm going to pause there. I hope I've made some sense through the course of my last comment all this while. But I think we've got some time, so anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to take them. You're saying something. So, no. No, no,
all
no.
boils down to that.
No, it shouldn't boil down to that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a reflection of our own society, no, of us, who we are as a people. We can
No, see, we have all this. You're talking to us in a mall. Fine. I mean, this is all like you say, erudite people. There's so many learned people. But how do you reach the grassroots? Is what I'm saying.
My point is that that effort has to come. See, another thing that Krishna talks about is seva, service. Each one of us has to do it. In our own way, we have to do it. Each one of us in our own way has to do it. It will come over time. From 0 to 11%, it's happened, right? From 0 to 11%, it's happened, right? 11 to 22 will also happen when there is effort. See, if you look at you look at land, unless you plow it, it won't yield. So you have to put in the effort. It takes your sweat, and it takes the effort. So there has to be genuine effort. In our country, what happens is, we all know, we say, what is that person doing? It's their job. What's they doing? It's their job. That's what they're saying. Tomorrow, if the government comes out and says 2 years of national service compulsory, how many of us will say, no, 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 not possible, not possible? How many of us will say, yes, I want it? After 10th standard, before you do your 12th standard, or after 12th standard, before you do a graduation, 2 years of national service compulsory. Be it in army, be it in paramilitary, be it in medical, paramedical, however it is, community service. 2 years. It should be compulsory. I'll tell you why. Because that's when you will have Seva Bhav 1, 2, concept of nationhood. Because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for Samaja. You're doing it for the country. These are the only 2 ways that you are going to inculcate this. Moment you inculcate that, what will happen? People who are living in glass houses will also go into the fields. People who are living in air-conditioned chambers will see what reality is, life is, how easy, difficult. And people from different social strata will interact with each other. And they will know each other, understand each other. There is going to be more cohesion. And more importantly, there will be Bharatiyata. Our problem is we lack in this whole concept of Bharatiyata. We need to invest there. That's where the tilling of the land has to happen, or the plowing has to happen, the effort. Yes, sir. You're saying so.
Made us very emotional by your emotional speech. But how many media channels used to spell Bharat, Bharat, Bharat?
Well, I
India
can.
versus Bangladesh, India versus Australia. Why not Bharat versus
Correct. I can only speak for myself. On my show, you will see the headline, bottom line, and myself saying Bharat. So I'll start from me. It has to start from somewhere. Till now you said nobody says it. Right now you're saying how many are saying it. That itself is change, no sir? Sir, I have been, they love me so much that they don't come to my show for the last 7 years. So it is like that, they're always thinking about me, I'm always thinking about them, but we never talk to each other.
This is not a question. I just wanted to thank you and compliment you, because seeing you call yourself old, but you don't know what old means. And people like me and some of us have spent the last 30, 35 years collecting up this sort of information. It's really nice to see a person like you coming out with it, seeing the younger generation. They need to learn this. Thank you very much.
Sir, what makes you think that the younger generation is not learning this? They are quietly learning, sir. When the oldies start doing it, sir, the youngsters follow.
Happy to hear that.
Yes. The backbenchers, all of you? They've been quietly listening and then having their own conversations there. I used to do that many years ago.
So,
Yes, sir.
while generally public expect that media should do this, media should do this, I would like, as a media person, what would be your advice to public as far as news taking to people, if at all it's any?
Sir, I think my position is very small for me to advise people what they should do. But my only humble submission would be that you have to get into this aspect of seva, service. Service for society and service for a better country. If each one of us, in our own way, we need to choose what we are doing. But we need to get into this aspect of seva and service for the country. If spirituality is your way, do seva like that. If social service is your way, do seva like that. If teaching is your way, do seva like that. But seva for society is what every household needs to do. Because that's when the next generation will also that we need to do something paropakara. That aspect of paropakara has to come. That's when we'll do it for the country. Otherwise, it's all about what's in it for me. We have to change that last one, no? What's in it for me? M has to be replaced with B. What's in it for Bharat?
Anand, V.S. Naipaul had at one time said that the media in India reports on India like an outsider, or words to that effect. Do you think it has changed, or where are we?
We have now started reporting about the world like India. So that's what's changed. And I'm sure you're seeing the process and you're seeing the change around us. And it's a welcome one. Yeah. By the way, his books are good, really good. All three, the entire Vatapi trilogy, you must read it, not just as a story, but it also brings together the knowledge about the kings around. Yeah, our history books here. 1,000 years of the Chola kingdom, 2 paragraphs. 300 years of British rule, 10 chapters. Or full. Mughals also. 5-year Mughals. Wow. 1,000 years of the Chola kingdom, then the Bhoja Rajas, the Maratha rule. 75 years our country, 70 years the Maratha ruled. No mention anywhere. They did so much of work. It is phenomenal. What happened in the Maurya dynasty, the amount of change that happened. And this whole narrative, we need to go back and change some of our textbooks. You know, Ashoka was Buddhist long before Kalinga happened. And he butchered them despite being a Buddhist. So this whole narrative about, oh, he became Buddhist after he shunned violence, after, all bumkum. Not true. Yeah.
Sir,
and then we have, then we have historians who say that Yudhishthira was influenced by Buddha. And they are platformed in our country. Ayyo.
Earlier, there was a system called SSLC, that is Secondary School Leaving Certificate, which we fondly used to call in our days a stupid system of Lord Curzon.
Correct.
Now, there is another stupid system which has been going on for ages. The day changes at midnight. The day should change when the sun rises. Now, being an influencer, don't you think, you could do something about it?
Sir, point is that we have to then move to the Hindu Samvat, no? We should shun the Gregorian calendar.
But
can we do that?
Why don't we try?
Point is, we are not even ready to call ourselves the Republic of Bharat. Let's start from there first. Then we'll come to the Samvat and the calendar.
At least we could give it a try.
Sir, let's start. Charity begins at home. I've got to practice what I preach. So slowly, first of all, I have to learn the Panchanga. It's only now that I've started studying the lunisolar calendar and how scientific it is, that the whole 108, this is also something somebody told me the other day, the distance between the earth and the sun, and the distance between the earth and the moon. You divide that and you get 108. Is it? I didn't study all of this. I should have studied all of this. It was not taught to me. So I think that's where, so then I have a problem when we elect governments and then their education ministers after 4 years say, 4 years, not a single word, not a single page, not a single paragraph has changed. I'm like, why did I put you there in the first place? Sorry.
Thank you.
And they are people who have tagged that they will revolutionize and change and bring Bharatiya Sabhyata into our education system. That didn't happen. But I agree, sir, we must do it, but it'll take time. It's got to evolve into a certain consciousness.
Yeah, maybe all of us should try.
Yes.
At least those who have gathered here today. We should start.
Sir, why our day in the traditional parampara, the day starts with the Brahma Muhurtam, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So that's what happened in all households without being taught about the concept of this.
Today we greet everyone for the birthday at 12 in the midnight. Most stupid thing that can ever happen.
Sir, we have to learn from some marketing gurus who even platformed and marketed 26th of December as Christmas when there was no Christmas and no Santa Claus was serving. It was Hanukkah and it was Easter that was a bigger this one. So marketing giants in 1920s designed all of this and this whole campaign became, and then the greeting cards makers and all of them capitalized on that, and suddenly Christmas and Valentine's Day became so big. It was never like that, sir. It was all marketing. So if they can do that, had they got Sadbuddhi and they would have done for our festivals and they done it based on our parampara. Yeah.
Hari Om, sir.
Anand, a more localized question related to politics. Every time I come to Tamil Nadu, something that really, I find amazing and also bothers me is that this place is so deeply traditional, steeped in spirituality. It's so protective about traditions, etc. But when it comes to political, at the same time, it is so this thing of Sanatan Dharma. I mean, dismissive or rather almost antagonistic. ये क्यों होता है? Why does it happen?
I'm a Tamilan. So in Tamil Nadu, in Coimbatore, so a Bengali is trying to put me into a fix. Answer the question about Bengal, Abhijit.
Bengal we are slightly ahead.
Not just
Right
Bengal,
now.
not just Bengal. See, Kanaka Sabapati is sitting just to one hand altar there. He's a career RSS person. Density of shakas is the maximum in Kerala. What's the story in Kerala? So I just feel political aspects is again how you are conditioned and what the political narrative from the 50s or 60s was here. That's changed. Point is, sir, nothing happens without effort. है ना? जब पसीना दोगे तो वहाँ से कुछ निकलता है. किसान भी मेहनत करता है. Farmer tills the land. That's when you get. Because it was allowed. It was allowed. No. See, Kamaraj was a Congress leader who was thrown out by a particular narrative that was pushed by E.V. Ramaswamy. Correct? But Congress is allying with the same people who threw them out of the state. Now, what do I talk about political wisdom? They're far more wiser, supposedly. So, that is something, yeah. It says 3 minutes, 23 seconds on the clock. I'm watching the clock, man. I stopped at, you said 45 minutes. I said I stopped with 16 minutes on the clock. I'm watching the clock.
Hari Om,
Thank
sir.
you.
Sir, Hari Om.
So that is something which people have to see. And the other thing is information. Unless there is the alternative information that is shared, facts that are shared. See, point is, how many of us know that Christianity came to Bharat at the time of, soon after Christ, and Islam came to Bharat in Thrissur in Kerala, around the time of the Prophet itself. So it's not that they are all new ones. The invasion aspect, this aspect happened, but all the doors in our homes, all the doors in our temples, all the doors of our forts open from the inside. So then we have to reflect upon ourselves, no? Even today, those who are hurting us are more from within than from outside. So we have to change that.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Question from one backbencher to another. Yeah, so as young people, like all of us are trying to become more Bharatiya educated and trying to insert influence in the world. One is how can we influence the older generation to be more active and take more initiative to spread this knowledge. And the second thing is how can we influence our circle of influence to reach more people. And the third thing is in a lot of places institutional change is needed and we can't do anything about it.
Correct.
From here. What can we do?
I totally agree. Just focus on doing your thing right and do it with conviction. So when you talk to somebody who does not agree with you, don't try and put them down. My suggestion is just put your point of view confidently, with facts and with belief. Change will happen. See, people only look at, they tend to push you down or, when you're not confident, when you're not equipped with facts. And that's when, and then they'll try and bully you or bulldoze you. But confidence, conviction, belief sinks. It works. The institutional change, when Samaja changes, no, Sarkar also has to change. They will have to change. So either it is top down or it is bottom up. In this case, I believe it has to be bottom up more than top down. Because then unless Samaja itself is not receptive, no matter what Sarkar does, it will never percolate down. That's where my thing is. So go ahead and keep doing your bit. That's it. Your job is to, you're the instrument. So just keep doing it. That's all my suggestion. Yeah. Great. 45 seconds. Final question. Anybody?
Yeah.
Nobody?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, he's got the mic and you got the hand, so he
Oh,
wins.
sorry, I can put this down.
No.
Thank you, Anand, for this inspiring speech. Just a point that you said you have to be in India, Bharat, to be of Bharat, but my job took me away. But I keep my roots always here. My children follow all the Bharatiya Samskritas. So what I see, as you said, we see more of Bharatiya outside Bharat. The moment we land in, for example, the last stop, maybe the last stop for me before coming back, Netherlands, we were pulled into ISKCON and we were in the Bahauda
See,
every day.
time is up, ma'am. Just
Yeah.
I'll answer this and I'll say Srila Prabhupada's guru told him, take the message of Krishna to the world. So from the age of, say, 69 till the age of 80, in 11 years, he was able to build more than 108 institutions, not full-blown temples, but institutions across the world. And he started with less than $4 in his pocket. And he battled severe illness, heart attacks and all of that, midway and all of that. But he did what he was supposed to do, what was mandated by his guru. I don't have a bone to pick with people who are living abroad, please. And if you're connected to your roots, most welcome. I have a problem with people who believe there is nothing in this country, so let me send them out.
Yeah.
That's where it is. So we cannot have an absence or zero Bharat in Bharat, but Bharat is everywhere else. I would like Bharat to be here first and then everywhere else. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Ma'am, I'm done.